ever wanted to grow your herbs and small veggies indoors for the winter or any time of the year? Well, now is your chance with the LetPot Hydroponics growing system. We're going to take a look at it. I'm going to be doing the unboxing, setting everything up so you can see if this is right for you. And if this is your first time here, my name is Marlene. Welcome to my home and garden channel. So the LetPot company reached out to me and asked me to review this product. They sent it to me and I was quite happy to receive it. And it came in pretty good time. And as you can see, we have a lot of insulation right here, which, there are a lot of moving parts in it. So of course, that makes perfect sense that it would be properly protected. So I do like seeing that. So it says less worrying on the front. So let's see if that's what's going to happen. So right here, it says Smart Hydroponics Growing System. So let's go ahead and get this unboxing going. So on here, it says less worrying, more harvesting. We're going to go ahead and open it from this side. You can see we have a handle there, which makes it easy to carry around, if you need to take it to somewhere else. And we have our guide right here. It says great to meet you. And it has our table of contents right there, different things listed on here. It's going to show you the different parts that come in there and just different things, different settings and all of that you'll need in a step-by-step on how to set it up. Of course, I'll go into a lot more detail. It shows you that your phone, you can use your phone to set it up that way using your Wi-Fi system. And we have information about the company right here. I always like to get that in my packages as well. And right here, these are stickers. They're kind of like light blocking stickers, which you'll take a look at further down in the video. You'll get to see more of that. We have the plant food right here, plant food A and plant food B. And this shows some products that the company has on here, as well as their contact information. So if you ever needed to reach out to them, all the details are listed there for customer service and all the other things that would involve. So you can see it has a pretty snug fit right here, which I like that. So we're going to go ahead and ease it out and set it on the table. And then take all the two end pieces. And I'll try to make this as neat as possible so you can see every single thing and follow me step by step. So it should be easy for you when you're ready to do it. Because we did, make sure we went through step by step, my family and I. So it will be as clear as day, once you were doing it yourself. Taking out the plastic. You can see it looks shiny and neat, and I absolutely love that. And this is how it's looking here. And you can see there are different displays on here for power, for the different wavelength of light if you're planting vegetables and herbs or fruits and flowers, because they are different, as well as the pump and the Wi-Fi. So let's go ahead and take the tape off. And the top is kind of lightweight, I would say, not the very top one. The middle piece you see me lifting right there, so be gentle with that when you're taking the tape off, because the tape is pretty strong. But it's still very durable though, so, that's a good thing. So we'll go in and get the tape taken off. We can move on to our next step. And I'm just so excited about growing my own herbs indoors during the winter in water. So those are the handles right there. Makes it easy for you to manage if you need to move it around. I'd say this part, be gentle, press down with one hand and slowly ease it out. Because as you can see, it extends, depending on how tall your plants are growing, it extends out. You can adjust it up and down depending on the height of your plant. And this is a tray on the top, and we have the various things that are inside. That part is where you'd pour your water in that just fell out, so that I'm going to put that back when I'm ready. And we have our different packages in here, 12 sponges, and all the other things that we'll look at in detail. And this basically allows you to grow 12 different things in there, different areas, which I think is really good based on the size. We have our plant food A right there, and these are dry, like they're crystals. And we have our plug right there for power with the adapter on it. So you can just stick it into that spot right there, which you can see me doing here. So pretty easy and pretty straightforward. Move on to our next step. Let's take a look at plant food B. And this is also dried crystals as well. And this is the pump for our water, because you want to keep the water moving, and that way your plant is going to stay fresh and vibrant. So now we're going to go ahead and open up some of these. Got me a nice pair of sharp scissors to go through and take a look at what's inside. And of course, you can see that I'm quite excited here. So these are they. And let's take a look at each thing individually. These are actually support rods. So when your plant gets taller, if it's a little bit top heavy, then you can always support it with those. And then next we have these right here. These are called shade covers. So let's say you're not planting like all 12 in 12 spots that they have there. You can go ahead and cover the ones that you're not planting in. And those are the labels, which are so important because when your seedlings are coming up, sometimes you forget what you put where. And that helps. And here we have, this is going to be to help to measure the water. Well, to tell you the level it's at, so you'll know that, the level is at the right place, because it does need to be so they'll stay hydrated in the sponge that's going to be going in there. I'm going to go ahead and pack these back in so we can get on to our next step. So far, so good. I'm pretty impressed with it so far. Let's take a look at this one here. And this is a sponge. These are the sponges that you're going to stick down, and this is what's going to absorb the water, and your plant's basically going to be growing in it. And those sponges will be placed in these right here, the baskets. You see, we have 12 baskets to match the 12 sponges. And you can see how they're looking there. So this is going to be extended down into the water, and then the sponges will go into those. And these are germination caps, because you know that when things are germinating, they need that little extra moisture to keep them going, almost kind of like a greenhouse effect. So that's going to be covering them over, but you'll see it in a minute. We're going to go ahead and mix our solutions. We have plant food A and plant food B. And we have the caps that come on there. And you'll see how we're going to do that step by step when we go through and make our plant food up. And it's important that you use a plant food that comes with it. So on to our next thing. Take a look at here. This is our water monitor. And the marking is at the top. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to stick it into the spot that it comes in. There's kind of like a buoy under there. It floats up, so you'll know when there's enough water in there. The marker, the yellow marker you're seeing, is going to come up and it's going to mark onto it. But let me go ahead. There's some tape in there. Let me go ahead and take that off first, so everything can be nice and clean and clear. And then I'll go ahead and place the cover on. It's good to just, take a thorough look to make sure everything is, nicely set up. So, of course, the pump has to get the plug put into the power source. So we're going to go ahead and insert the tray and then stick in the plug for the pump. And it has a little slot right there that you can stick it in. Just go ahead and put it right there. Very, very easy. And I like it has a little groove, so it makes it easy. So you can see how that is looking there. And you have the hole for the power cord. So we're going to go ahead and put the plug in. And of course you have the adapter that you can stick in there. You can see that the cord has a reasonable length. So, typically you'd put that near to your wall somewhere where it has some support. And you should be able to reach, but if not, you can put an extension cord. I'm just showing you right here. You can always use an extension cord, so you can go to a further area if your plug is further away, which in most cases they're not, based on the length of it. So let's go ahead now and make up our solution. We're going to start off with plant food A first, and it gives you the measurements on there. For every liter of water, it's 5 milliliters of the food, but we're going to go over and mix it up first. So this cup here, you look at the liter, make sure it's on the liter section of the cup, and we're going to be putting in 100 liters of water into each of these bottles. And this is the water I'm using here. It's purified water, and that's the one you want. If you're doing it from home, I'd say make sure that it's filtered water, so it's nice and clean for you, and that way your water will stay that way. So I'm measuring it out here for 100 milliliters. And then I'm going to go ahead and just pour it in and top up our plant food. And of course, you can always get more of these if you need them in the future. You can always order those as needed. And by the way, guys, I'll be putting a link in the description box below so that you will see how you can get a hold of this product if you think it's something that would work for you. So of course you want to give it a good shake to make sure it dissolves, and I typically recommend that you use room temperature water or perhaps even slightly warm water to make sure it completely dissolves, and then just let it cool down before you go on to your next step. It's the same thing here. Again, it's going to be, you're going to pour 100 milliliters of water into your container until it goes all the way to the top. Leave a little space so you have enough to shake it, and then just go ahead and give it a nice good shake so that it dissolves. So far, so good. Then you can leave me a comment as to what you're thinking about this product so far, if you like it, if you would try it, and what you'd grow there. Because typically you would try to grow things, I'd say if you're going to do like tomatoes, you can do tomatoes and flowers because those are at a similar wavelength. Or if you're doing like your herbs, you can do them at that one. So now we're going to go ahead and mix further now, where we're going to go ahead and add it to 4 liters. I'm using 4 liters of water, so I would use 20 milliliters of the liquid that I just made up. This holds 15, so I'm going to have to put 15 first, and then I'm going to go ahead and put 5 more, and the measurement is right on there. I'm not sure if you can see it, on your camera there or on your phone, but it's 20. We're going to go ahead and have it added in. We'll do the same thing for the next solution as well. So it's pretty straightforward, and try not to, try to use the same cover, the cap that belongs to each of the containers. Just in case there might be any type of a reaction, you want to keep it as pure and as clean as possible. So we put our 15 in there, and then we'll put in the additional 5 as well, just to make sure that we're following the proper measurements. But I'd say typically go for 4 liters because based on the size of the container, you want to make sure that you are getting it up to the right level so that your sponges will be wet all the time. So we're just going to go ahead and give it a nice stir, and then it should be ready to be poured in. Here you can see I was doing it a little bit ahead. Most of the water is gone, but I wanted to zero in and show you where you're seeing that the level is moving up to the point where it says max. Where you see that yellow plunger at the top, once it reaches that point, it's time to stop and not go any further, because of course you don't want to have overflow or have too much water in there. So these are the seeds that I'm going to be planting. I'm going to be planting cilantro, basil, and oregano, and that's going to make some nice, I would say some nice Italian food, something like that. Or just any other thing you may want to use these herbs in. They're so delicious and so tasty, and they're a great enhancement to any meal. And of course, I'm writing in with a Sharpie on here to make sure that I know what is what. So when they're coming up, you know exactly which plant is which. And then over here, you can see there's little holes in there. The holes can be used for your tags, your label tags. You can stick those in there. And of course, you can also use it for the support beams if your plant gets top heavy. So that way, they'll be properly supported. And of course, you'll be harvesting quite often. They tell me once they get to a certain point. And over here now we have, these are called the baskets that we had looked at just before. And those are to go into the hole. They're going to go down into the water, and then the sponge is going to go right into it, and that's where our seed is going to go. So let's go on now to put in the seeds in place. So I'm showing you the largest ones, which are the ones with the cilantro. You can see, you can visibly see those. The oregano seeds were really tiny. The basil kind of in between, but the oreganos were definitely small, and they recommend that you put no more than 2 seeds per hole. And so you can see me holding it in place a little bit there, and that's just because you want to make sure that it is wet before you move on to the next thing. So this is every single one of them set up here together. In retrospect, I could have put the seed a little further down in the hole there, but it will still be okay. So this is how it's looking right here, guys. So far, so good. Everything looks nice and clean, and I thought it was pretty simple at this point. And you can see our watermark is right there, so we are ready to go. And again, if the sponges come up a little bit higher up, just be sure to just gently push them down so that they'll stay down in place. And even after the plant has started to grow, if that happens, just kind of like gently rest it down a little bit, and it'll be fine. So here we have the stickers now. These are basically going to be blocking some of the light out so they can actually germinate as if they were in the soil. And there we have our shade covers. And if you like gardening, I have a lot of gardening videos coming up, both for plants indoors and outdoors. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and tap on the notification bell twice so you never miss an upload. So next we're going to put the stickers on each of the individual ones. You can see there's a hole in the center to allow a little bit of air to pass there, as well as when they start to pop up, they need a place to grow. So of course you wouldn't want to cover it completely because then your plant is gonna get damaged when it tries to come up. And I'm putting on the germination covers here as well, just to make sure that they have that extra moisture under there. And for the ones that I'm not actually using any plants in there at this point, I'm just going to cover those with these so we don't have any excess evaporation and quick loss of the water. Then this would be a perfect point to go in and set your phone to the app, and it's pretty straightforward. If you're not technologically savvy like me, because I'm really not that technologically savvy, you can go ahead and have your kids or your grandkids help you to set it up on your smartphone. And once you've loaded the app on there, you can follow all the other steps on here to get everything in place to get it hooked up. And they do go through step by step and show you exactly how to do it. And of course, you do have the customer service number. So if you have any issues with it, be sure to reach out to them. And I know they'll be more than happy to help you to get the issue resolved so you can get going with your plants. So after 8 days, this is what it looked like here. Let's go in and take a closer look. This is a later part of the day, so the light was still on because I had set mine for 16 hours. You can take a look under there and see that the leaves are coming up and it's almost about to touch the top of the germination cap. So it's good to have it there initially, but eventually you'll have to move it, of course, to get your plant to grow up properly and not get bent or anything like that. You can see how tiny they are. I'm just so happy that they came up. Because sometimes even though these are good seeds that we got, and I'll link them below to where I got these online, sometimes you can get seeds that they seem like a good supplier and they are duds. It just does not work out. They don't germinate at all, or they're just producing unhealthy plants. But these were actually pretty good and I was quite happy with them. So this is how they are here, hanging out with a few of my other plants. Some of them are rescues, which I'm going to be repotting in the near future, so be looking out for that video as well. So of course, once they're coming up, you'll need to go in and take the germination cap off. And then you'll also need to go in and take the sticker off. This is our basil right here. You can see how the leaves are looking. And I did this the following day. Just go in and gently peel them off. And now bear in mind, guys, that you want to make sure that you're not damaging the leaves, because these are the seed leaves, which are the first two leaves that come out. And if both of those are damaged, then your plant is going to die, because at that point it's not able to produce any additional leaves. So please be careful with this step. When you're doing that, you gently go in and just ease them off. If the sponge in the basket lifts out at this point, it's perfectly fine, or any other point, as long as you're not sitting out and drying out. So if it eases out when you're doing this point, just go in and place them back in and they'll be okay. See, the seed's a little bit on top for the second one that's coming up, but it's gonna be okay. It'll be fine. The roots will grow down and it'll be perfect. So here it is, guys. You can see it hanging out by my orchid, and I think, they're looking so good over there, and I'm so looking forward to my first harvest, which I will be sharing with you in an upcoming video. LetPot, I do want to say thank you so much for sending this over to me, and I really like this product, and I'll be even more happy once I get my first harvest, and we will see that in a future video. I do thank you so much for watching, and I certainly hope to see you in the next video. Take care.